Good morning. Welcome back to the channel. What we have is a really fun one here today. This is a 1994 AH3 R32 GTR. AH3 being the color red. If you don't know and you live under a rock, this is Adam LZ's car. It's Adam LZ's car. Get excited. Get excited. This video is brought to you by Squarespace. Connect with your audience and generate revenue through gated members only content. Manage your members, send email communications, and leverage audience insights all in one easy to use platform. Create a community on your Squarespace website with a fully integrated commenting system that supports threaded comments, replies, and likes. Use their powerful blogging tools to categorize, share, and schedule your posts too. Extend Squarespace already powerful e-commerce capabilities with Squarespace extensions. These new third-party tools can help you manage inventory, promote products, streamline bookkeeping, reconcile and file sales tax, and ship items across the globe. Display posts from your social profiles on your website. Automatically push website content to your favorite social media channels so your followers can share it too. Go to squarespace.com for your free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/tommyfyeah to receive 10% off your first website or domain. This car is super special to Adam, and it's super special to us because Adam and I have talked about doing a collab build for years. When Adam found this car last year, I think it was summer, sent it to me, I was beyond stoked for this car for multiple reasons, and I'll get into those really quickly. First, it's AH3, which he was looking for. We've had a couple AH3s, but they are super rare. It's a 94, one of the final cars off the production line. So late in 94, it's almost a 95. I'm not gonna get into that because it's a weird thing to say, but some of the importation stuff was bordering 95. So that's pretty interesting. Besides that, there's one other piece of this car that I love personally, and that resides right there. If you don't know, that's an R34 6-speed shift knob because this car possesses an R34 Getrag 6-speed transmission. Super gangster part, one of the best mods I ever did to my GTR, and I heavily suggested Adam get one with a 34 or buy a 34 6-speed. Luckily, he found this car with one already in it, and that's pretty rare. So Adam's added a short while, but a while. He's added the Nismo hood lip. I believe the Nismo ducts were there, but if not, Nismo ducts, Nismo skirts, Nismo trunk wing, which is this little flapper here, down here, and the Nissan optional rear spats. These are a really cool piece. They flow with the skirts correctly. They're beautiful. He added the Regas. I just heard the car do something weird. And this car came on endless brakes, Brembos in the rear, and a kind of interesting turbo setup under the hood. This was definitely somebody's track day toy in Japan, but they kept it clean. Oh, we also added the beautiful gander doors that he puts on every car. When Adam and I always talked about doing collab build, he wanted to be done the way I would do it. A couple things that I would do, but don't do, that we're gonna be doing, and that's interesting to me. One of those is, we're going single on this, even though it already is single, we're going double single, which sounds like a twin, but it's just a double single. Currently, the car has a very old T04R setup. Great setup. Adam wanted to modernize this car, so we sat down, we figured it out, came up with a really cool solution and build for this car. And I'll tell you what that is before the video begins. We are gonna do a step 0, 2.8 bottom end, step 2 V-cam, step 2 272 exhaust, which is kind of a little bit of a nightmare, but rather cool. You actually have to change the base circle on the cams. It's a machine shop job. We don't have to touch it. And the new HKS GT3 4R single turbo kit, which basically looks just like this, but a little cooler. It's in the same location. We could probably use some of the parts, which I'm really excited to try. We'll be deleting the ABS. We'll be painting the bay. We will be just prettying this thing up and putting a monster setup in it. I'm shooting on ethanol for 600 plus. I think it should make all of 500 on pump gas. It's kind of the goal. I don't really know, but that's what we're going for. The whole setup's gonna be changed. Adam actually bought a core engine to be doing that with, so he didn't have to touch, hurt, destroy, modify this one. He's gonna have it on a stand. And like I said, it should be a gangster car. He already has an ECU, already has a fuel system. Besides that, we just have to take it apart and reassemble it. And that leads me to my next thing. I have to say this for the haters. We love doing YouTubers' cars so much. We're just such clout chasers that instead of doing this on customer time, which We had a lot of people in the comments saying, oh, if my car was there and you were working on a YouTuber car, I'd be pissed. Adam's been in the schedule for over 6 months. He had a break. We had to put him in the schedule. We decided to not hurt the customer cars. We're working weekends on this for the next 7 weeks so we can get this car done for Adam for Vegas. So for the next 7 weeks, we'll have no lives. That's our investment into this. We get to have a bunch of YouTubers with our cool cars and the marketing aspect of that, and they get to have a cool car that they didn't have to build. I guess that's the trade-off. I'm excited for this car. Our goal today, get the engine and the bay all stripped, and next week get the bay painted. After that, it's just reassembly. Luckily, Adam owns Drift HQ, was able to order all of his parts, and we'll go into those when we start getting into this. We're gonna try to give a breakdown on every single part used, but as of right now, I'm gonna leave that intro as long as it just was, and we hope you're excited for this. And I have to say one last thing, Adam. My goal, my personal goal with this car is to beat your 34. So basically, you're gonna race yourself and beat yourself in one of the cars. My goal is to make this one beat the 34. If you guys think it's possible, put it in the comments. If you think that setup is the recipe for doing that, put it in the comments. If you don't, put that in the comments. Well, I'd like to see what you guys think. The 34 fucks. My goal is to make the 32 fuck harder. So stay tuned, get excited. Let's get this thing torn apart and ruined. She's almost ready. And just like that, it's all stripped and ready to be washed, sanded, and painted. The only other thing we're gonna paint on this car, because of our timeline, is the front bumper. And it's got some imperfections. Just gonna paint the bumper, blast it, paint the bay, put it back together. Show you all. I'll have Mike actually film some B-roll of the bay condition.
So here on LZ's car, he had an igniter relocation right here on the firewall, which is kind of weird, but he's got these riv nuts in here. I'm guessing the previous owner did that, so we're gonna go ahead, drill these out, weld them up, shave it flat, make it look nice. So first initial weld, I didn't get everything good. I got a couple little pinholes, just got to tack them quick, smooth them out, and we should be good.
Alrighty. So Adam's car turned out fucking phenomenal. Obviously you can see that though because you have eyes. This is sick. Next up, do the wheel wells. And then I guess reassembly. Oh, and the front bumper got done. Super cool. I guess he had some marks on the front bumper that he wanted to handle. Under the hood is pretty. Hood latch is pretty. It's all good. All right, so here it is, LZ's 2.8 liter, 86.5 mil stroker kit. The head is here, set up for a step 2 V cam and a step 2 exhaust cam, which I talked about we don't normally do, but for LZ, that's what's getting done. So now, engine has to be assembled, put on a subframe similar to this, and then dropped in the car. We're getting close. We're getting really close. It's freezing cold outside. So now, once that's all assembled, pull the car out, slap her in, and then we've got the cherry on top, which is the turbo kit he went with, which I'm excited about. All right, so this is looking absolutely insane, and I wanted to show you before I forget to do so. Some little touches we did. We obviously paint matched valve covers, including the HKS V-cam cover. We actually had to like do a lot of work to get this smooth, but we couldn't get it in between all the letters and stuff, so you can kind of see the old casting. Nothing we can do about that unless we address the whole thing. It's a whole shit show. We'll let Adam do that. He's got the radium fuel roll, which we don't usually run, but set up nicely. We deleted the recirc there. He's got the PRP pieces, which are specific to him. We don't usually run these trigger kits. If we are gonna run a trigger kit, it's HKS, but these are fine. Rebuilt the power steering pump and deleted Hikis on the pump itself. It's a cool kit. Still a mystery on what's going on here, for you guys anyway. I know what it is. Replace motor mounts, powder coated subframe, powder coated sway bar, powder coated brackets, powder coated intake manifold, and as of now, that's it. We still have to rebuild the diff, put the diff in, thermostat, run the lines. You'll also notice we tapped the valve covers and we put these banjos in. I like these a lot. They're ORB, so there's an oil ring, an O-ring for oil here. These are a lot lower than 90s at swoop, and instead of having the radium single piece, you have to make a straight fitting. This is everything built into one. So this is kind of a new thing we're trying. I like it. We're probably gonna put radium ones for Adam because he already has the radium fuel rail, but this is cool. This is what I'm into this. So the engine, I'm sure Mike will get some good glam shots of it. And let me show you the bay. Like I've told you a million times, our hardest part of our job is paint matching bays, because normally when you would paint an area, you would blend. So if you had to paint this fender, which you can see has like almost a haze to it, you would paint the fender and you would blend out onto the door, you would blend up the A-pillar, you'd blend onto the hood, etc. When doing a bay, you can't really do that. We're not gonna repaint Adam's car. So we did like 30 matches. We got as close as we could, and you can see it here. So this is the top of the fender. As you go over, you can see the top of the fender. When you get to here, this is what we look for, flop. So you'll see these two colors match really well. However, there is a little bit more pink and blue in Adam's color and a little more orange in our color. We could not get this color. It's not even the paint. There's a hazing on the car. It could be the ceramic coat. It could be microscopic scratches. It could be bad old paint. It doesn't matter. It's not a negative. It's just a negative to try to match to. So we did pretty well. The one that sucks is the grill. So we had to paint the grill. This was basically flat red. We paint that, we put the hood down. Actually, I can just show you because you're gonna see it eventually anyway. Hold on. So even here, they're different angles, so this is probably the best way to see it. From here to here, you can see a little pinker here and a little more orange here. Like I said, nothing we can do about that. We try. That's like my #1 thing, but especially red, gray has proven to be really hard. Here's a better example from here. So if you look, like, this color isn't the same as this color, which is the top of the hood. It's a reflection of the hood, and this color. We're trying to match this and this. Same thing here, we're trying to match this and this. Super close, but Adam had some stuff painted, such as like his side skirts, which are pretty close. You can see the mirror here, a little darker. I don't know if you can tell that. In person, outside, not under these lights, you probably never notice. But when you get out the flashlight and start going, you do notice. You can see his side skirt, a little darker. This has a little more pink in it. This has a little more like brown in it almost. On the camera, it looks fucking great. Regardless, this turned out phenomenal. The bay is already coming together. We need to put the AC stuff on. Bumper beam, intercooler, bumper. Then this car gets pushed down on the lift, engine goes in, and we're done. But look how good it is. I'm sure Mike got clam shots, so I don't need to. Okay, we got LZ's HGS single turbo kit here. He had a little spice to it. See what it looks like. Razor blade needs to sharpen it. So good. And just like that, the engine is in and looks perfect. I'm so stoked with how the color match valve covers look with the black, with the HGS turbo. So now all that's left is just some plumbing and an engine harness and some final dialing, and this thing will be getting the fuck out of the shop. So what I'm about to show you, which, have they seen it, Mike? Yeah. So we're gonna do 2 changes, but I'm gonna show you the bay. We're gonna do, well, Adam might do a couple, but we're gonna do 3 things need to be changed, potentially. This battery's gotta go, but this was the battery that was in it. So we're gonna use this to get it all started and figure out where we're at. Not a problem there. The powder coater didn't get our message, our memo, where we wanted to match these, but I don't know if Adam's upset about it because you can see Nismo. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but you can see Nismo here, and if we didn't wrinkle, you wouldn't. So the center's wrinkle and the outside's black. It's not the worst. And then we need an intake. But here it is, set up to set base timing. I love the intercooler pipe setup. This is what I wanted to do. It used to have a coupler, a straight coupler, 90 cast, straight coupler, this pipe. We replaced that with a 90 coupler. Some people don't love 90 couplers. I, however, love 90 couplers. One, you should never weld to a turbo, especially one that says HKS on it. You're a fool if you weld to a turbo that says HKS on it. Two, having 2 couplers and 4 clamps there is fucking dumb. So we need the intake. We need to create an intake. Shouldn't be too bad. Probably do a 45. Set us up over here somewhere. Maybe a 60. I don't know. That's one thing. It's kind of on the bottom of the list because technically we just throw a filter on that and run it if we needed to. Besides that, this thing looks beautiful. So we're waiting. We're gonna hit up Jamie. He is going to remote in, set our trigger stuff, because Adam ran the PRP trigger kit, which is the cam angle sensor and the crank angle sensor. And he also has a link, which we don't usually use. So besides that, this thing's ready. It's this close. So running out of time here, and we had to call in the troops. Jack's on the phone. He's gonna set a base map just to get the thing started so we know it runs, doesn't leak, no issues before it goes to the dyno. You ready, Jack?
Let's go. Let's get this thing going.
Make it happen.
That's like 45. That's right at 48 degrees.
Keep her running. All right, as you just saw, LZ's 32 fired. Sounded pretty good. This whole issue, we've had like 17 people on the phone, link, etc., etc., etc. Similar issue as Dustin Williams' car. I don't know how to say it without talking shit. I don't like Link, and I don't like these trigger kits. But that's our ignorance, possibly. I mean, it's not our ignorance because no one can solve it until we fucked with it for 2 hours today.
So the issue is with this link is just running a separate cam and crank sensor.
Right.
And that's it.
If you ran a cast, you'd be fine. If you ran a stock cast or even the NZ cast, you'd be fine.
We did this with Haltech before, and it went fine.
Right. We've never had the issue. So it's just link, the weird sync settings, all of that stuff. I don't endorse this combination. The Haltech's way easier. Shout out Haltech. And I can't talk shit about the trigger kit because I don't really know if it's that or the combination, but I will say I don't like Link because we were on the phone with Link today and they couldn't see a problem. And then we just started playing with settings, turning things off, and it was, what was it? It ended up being the sync, right? The sync between the two?
Well, so the cam sensor is what tells what number 1 is. The crank kind of falls in line because there's two separate inputs. So basically, it's just guessing 1 every 6,
Right.
where it was. So it would like throw timing everywhere. It was like really weird.
Right. So which would you say is the issue? If you had, I mean, it's ECU. It's not an issue, but
got to run with both.
Right.
Finally.
Right. After fucking with it, but Link, you were on the phone with Link today, and they couldn't do this.
With 2 different Link people.
And they couldn't do this.
It was Jack, Jamie, and 2 different guys from Link.
Yeah, and Jack and UP Garage, shout out UP Garage, kind of helped us start the diagnosing process, and Jack just started throwing things in there, and it started working. It was similar to Dustin Williams' car, which is what Jimmy did.
They haven't done, or UP, they didn't have
they
2 separate things either anyway with the Link before.
Right.
That's never happened.
So Jack's going to probably have to give them some pointers on what he just did, possibly. But anyway, I wouldn't endorse the Link. I would say the Link's the issue because we have run this kit on a Haltech, and it worked fine, so... anyway, it's late. She runs. Oil pressure's perfect. I have a clip I'll put right now of the exhaust. I'll send that to you, Mike. I just filmed from the exhaust side, and it wasn't running perfect because the tune was wrong, etc., etc. But I'm stoked. So I'm gonna end the video here. It's a complete build. It runs, starts, drives, moves, turns, etc. And we've got to tighten some stuff up, button some little things up. Adam's going to change the filter. We're going to change the battery, I think. And we're going to change this catch can setup. This is temporary. This is a radium catch can. But we needed something so this thing could potentially go to Vegas. That's what we came up with. Once again, YouTuber, deadline, SEMA 2028. But thanks for watching. Hope you like this. Hope you love LZ's car. I hope LZ loves his car. And hopefully we see it on the TV show. See you guys next time. Bye. Video after the video. So LZ's car made it out to Vegas. It was a day late. The trucker had an issue, so wasn't able to make the schedule that he needed to make. Plus, he had 2 issues. One, he threw a shim on the dyno, which he was revving at 8,500 RPM, and it's from Link's rev limiter being too aggressive, is what he says and he thinks. It happens. It's only happened one other time, right?
Spitting a shim?
Yeah.
Not for us. But you know why that's a good thing? Because the valve will never hit the piston.
Right.
So it's an easy fix.
Right. So he fixed it on the dyno. Went back, the car had a very small oil leak, and like I said, we didn't really have time after it got running. Like, that's the part where we do all the final pieces. Luckily, we trust Adam. He's not a total idiot. He's able to solve very minor mechanical issues by himself, which is why we allowed the car to leave. We you know, we'll occasionally, if someone's not super new to cars, we'll let them take their car early. We'll never let that happen again, but with LZ, we'll make the exception. So he took it, and it was a success. The car made on the dyno after a couple tinkerings, and to my knowledge, the car put down 620 wheel at 20 PSI. So you have to understand, that turbo is good for 30 all day. That car should be low to mid 7s, and that's a monster. So anyway, with all that being said, the only other issue we had was the link with the PRP trigger kit and cam kit and the V-cam all working together. It didn't work. He can explain that in his video, but here's the clips of the car running and driving. And that's where we're gonna end the video. That's a success story for LZ. Super glad we were able to facilitate that. And hopefully you see more of that car fucking on his channel. I like to go down to Florida and race his 34 with his 32. Anyway, we gotta shout out Squarespace. Thanks Squarespace for sponsoring this video. And we'll see you guys next time.